Okay, in this quick tutorial, we'll cover this curtain call effect. It's just rolling a curtain, maybe a piece of fabric or something like that. Here, I'll show you the animation. I'll show you some of the issues with it and how to fix those as well if you want. Oh, that's a little rigid body that's going into it. So, I'm just rolling this textured cloth up onto this thing. And if you notice right towards the end, let's see when it runs it again. That rigid body was just for fun. Right towards the end, you can see it breaking up right in there. You can start seeing through it, and that's because if you look at the cloth settings in here, right down here, where are my cloth settings? There it is, self collision right there. Alright, so let's turn it on. Let's see what happens with it. Let's start from the beginning. So that theoretically should prevent those from breaking through, and it does. It cleans it up, right? Adds a little extra processing power to it as well, but and something you got to tweak the settings. All right, but the important thing about this routine is comes down to vertex groups. Vertex groups are so important for everything in Blender, whether you're using physics, soft bodies, cloth, hair particles, all kinds of things like that. So if we, let me just pause this and I'll go look at the vertex group I have set for this cloth object. Like, let's go see. So it's subdivided here. These are just a bunch of images that I mapped onto it. We won't deal with that in this particular lesson. And here's my vertex group that I'm using, just called group. Well, I can't see the actual values in here. I mean, I can go in here and turn everything off, and then let me see, I'll press A, turn all of them off, and then I can select the group, but that doesn't tell me the individual values like that. So in order to do it, I just have to be down here in weight paint mode, and then you can see really what it is. These are no settings of the values, so that cloth is free to float. It's assigned a value 0, and then on the back side, notice I have it right up in there, and right there you can see right at the very edge, and it's just yellow. It's not quite red. I didn't want it red because if I had pinned it all the way, then it wouldn't move in association with this here as well. Okay, so this allows it, and then on the object itself you can see there's just a graph. Let's get the graph editor. Graph editor on this object. I have rotation keyframe set up on X, somewhere in here as X. Where's my X? There it is. There's my keyframe for X, and that's controlling the rotation of the cylinder to wrap this thing up. Alright, and then, so then when you set the cloth up, when you put the cloth in the scene, let's see, let's go back into object mode. Alright, and then we'll go look at the object itself right in here. And notice right here, this is parented to the cylinder. Alright, you can tell, and you can tell the kind of parent it is, right? It's either object parented, vertex parented, or 3 vertices. That's just parented to a single vertex. But I cover vertex parenting and parenting in other lessons, or we can maybe see it. Let's see if we can see it in, sometimes you can see it in here. Sometimes it's hard to see. It's closely parented to that. I can't see the line in there right now. Alright, well, let's continue anyway. Let's then in the cloth settings, you have to make sure that when you do the cloth settings, down in here I have collision set on the cloth. Here's the cloth settings, and then down here you had to get the vertex group here. So you pick the vertex group and make sure this pinning box is set as well. Otherwise it won't pick up those vertices in there, and it won't be able to follow along with the rotation of this like that. So it's a pretty straightforward setup, and it gives you cool effects, because then you can make like a virtual stage effect within your virtual 3D world, which is kind of strange, right? But you know, it's pretty cool and it works. I was kind of fascinated by this because I do a lot of eBay, and I've done that for quite a few years now. And once I had picked up a Lego set at an auction, it was it was on like a Hollywood type stage set, where the Lego set you would actually roll up a curtain. It was like pretty fancy stuff. I couldn't believe they actually had it in a Lego set. I'd never seen it before. And so I think at the time I was thinking about that, and maybe that's when I made this animation. Okay, well that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next lesson.